off the rails, no time to hesitate. Chasing smoke trails, driving towards my fate. The sunrise is red over a mountain Hispanic. B2 circuit beckons in this foreign land.
Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of power sports on YouTube. We are here for part 2 of buying a house in Japan.
And you guys are probably like, whoa. You promised in part 1 that part 2 would be in Japan. Well, there's a reason for that. There's been a ton of updates, and so there's going to be 3 main sections to this video, so you'll have to stay tuned to find out what's been changed.
The first part of this video is just testing to make sure that our new X5 360 camera is going to be able to pick up voices clearly, and that whether I'm holding it or whether it's sitting on the tripod, that we're going to get good clear video for all of the cool things we're going to be doing in Japan. Part 3 will probably be a travel video. Part 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will each be individual property tour videos. Part 9 would probably be a tour of Tokyo. Part 10 would be the hot springs in Hakone. Part 11, there's going to be a lot of videos coming over the next couple years. So let's get started with some of the updates that we have for the next part of this video. We also need to make sure the camera's going to work well in low light indoor scenarios, and also we need to make sure that it's not going to get blinded by the sun when we're out in the sunlight. So I'll test that out later because this is bright, but it's not that bright. So let's go ahead and jump over to the second part of this video, which is an update on our real estate services. Alright, so on October 24th at 8 p.m. is when part 1 of this video series was recorded. And what's crazy is 12:01 a.m., so 1 minute into October 25th, is when we decided to retain Parker.
Step 1, murder weapon.
With Akiya and Inaka. And we had a really good conversation with him, and it is now November 14th. So we have passed from October 24th on part 1 to November 14th on part 2, and our plane leaves on November 25th. And we are actually going to tour 5 properties that Parker has scheduled for us on Thanksgiving on November 27th, 2025. We are going to spend our entire Thanksgiving in Japan at hot spring hotels touring Japanese abandoned houses that we want to turn into. At this point, I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to do like a drift hotel, like you fly in and you rent a drift car and we go to the racetrack and we go drifting, or if I just want to rent garage spaces for people who buy drift cars over there, or if I just want to have a second house. I haven't really gotten that far in it yet. So part 2 of this video, we're going to go through the 5 properties in detail. I'm going to black out some of my personal financial stuff, but I've made a bunch of calculations on this. And then after that, part 3, we're going to go over the itinerary, again with personal information blacked out, but it'll give you an idea for part 3 of this video. The itinerary that we, she is tearing up my camera case, hey! So the last part of this video is the itinerary, and I'll kind of try and go through, this is going to be video part 3, video part 4, video part 5, so you guys can kind of get an idea. Okay, I really want to watch video part 5, but I don't give a shit about video part 7. So let's go ahead and jump right into the detailed overview of these properties. And as I promised, I'm not going to make you listen to the terrible microphone audio on my headset, so I'm going to use this camera to record my voice while I am showing you a screen capture from OBS Studio. And hey, no! Alright, so real quick, we're just going to go through the 5 properties that were chosen. 3 of them you saw in part 1, 2 of them are new. So the first new one is this 2-story 7DK. It's got a 2.5 car garage, but that really is more of like a 2-car garage. It's a decent house. The garage doesn't have a door on it, which is weird. And so it looks interesting. It's a little expensive for me, possibly too expensive, but the house is 100% move-in ready. It's actually not technically an abandoned house. It's the only one on the list that's not. So that's pretty cool. And it's got a little 4-season or maybe 3-season porch. Yeah. So this is the first one we're going to go look at. It's the most expensive one. It's ready to move in. It just, getting a garage is going to be tough. However, this triangle here, so this triangle right here is part of the property. So I could potentially build a garage here. And if you go into Google Street View, 10 years ago, there was a building here. So that's interesting. And then the next property you guys already saw. This is a pretty promising one. It's super cheap, but it needs a lot of work. Then the third property is a new one. I don't know if I showed you guys this one. It's only a 2-bedroom, so that's not really a big enough house. But except for a couple plumbing issues, it's move-in ready. But what's crazy is it comes with what it says as an unregistered warehouse. And I'll show you that once I switch over to my details. But this is 6 acres. 6 acres. Okay. Then this one, this is like, it used to be my favorite one. It's the giant 10-room farmhouse that has all the extra buildings, and it's fairly affordable. It's got a little parking shed. It's got this, which could easily be torn down and a real garage built. And it's got this other outbuilding, which could easily be made into 2 rental suites, a lower and upper rental suite. So this is my second favorite right now because it's got a lot of space, a lot of land. And then the 5th one we're going to go see, hopefully we'll have some sunlight left, is this place. It's been abandoned for, I think, since like 2022 based on Google Street View. So it's got a house. It's like, okay. But as soon as I started clicking through, I was like, wait, look at this big driveway. And then bam, look at this. It used to be some kind of warehouse or depot. It's a 45-foot by 45-foot warehouse with an attached office, and it has a little waiting room. So that's cool. And it appears to have some kind of storage shed. I'm pretty sure this is included. We're not sure. This is a much newer listing. And the listing is semi-affordable unless this house needs a bunch of work, and then yeah, so let's go over to the more detailed document. So first of all, I blacked out all my personal financial information, obviously. So basically what I did is, if the purchase price and so this is the first house. This is the Nihonmatsu City 7-room 7DK house. The purchase price is 160,000 USD with a 4% real estate acquisition tax, and this is calculated the same across all 5 properties. And then I used my banker's calculator that she gave me to calculate a home equity line of credit payment based on the equity I have in my current house. And then all of these costs here are all calculations based on average costs in Japan. Average electric cost, average water cost, average internet cost, because I would set up an internet, security cameras, temperature, humidity sensors, estimated fixed asset tax cost, estimated city planning tax cost, estimated cost to have somebody cut and manage the lawn and trees while I'm not there, and then estimated home insurance cost for fire and earthquake. So the total estimated monthly cost is $2,400. And I'm going to tell you right now, even with all this blacked out, I can't afford that. I just can't. So then I calculated distances to all of the major landmarks. The number one landmark being how far am I going to be from Ebisu Circuit, because my drift cars aren't going to be street legal, so I will have to have a rollback truck to put the car on and take it to Ebisu. So 9-minute drive from Ebisu. It's a 36-minute walk to the closest train station if I don't want to drive. And then let's say if I needed to commute to Fukushima City, then I have 9-minute bicycle ride to the train station, 20-minute train ride to the main station in the city, and that's the minimum. That doesn't even get you where you need to go. Or 32 minutes driving and not taking public transport. It's only 3 minutes from the convenience store, 1 minute from a supermarket, 4 minutes from a pharmacy, 3 minutes from a clinic, and 6 minutes from a good hospital. I actually checked the reviews on the hospitals before I calculated that distance. So the land area is 0.373 acres, and the house is 2,200 square feet. I converted from meters squared to square feet and acres. Technically 2.5 car garage. I don't really believe it's actually a 2.5 car garage. And then some math here, then blacked out some more finances. So basically you have the house, you have the existing garage. Google says it's 35 foot by 25 foot. And then these two shapes are based off of this measurement from Google Maps. So I could put a 44 foot by 25 foot garage here in this triangle. Or if I cleared out the garden, and I don't know if they'd let you cut down trees, I cut down a tree or two, I could put a 57 foot by 22 foot workshop. So I just put a door at the front and just drive all the way through, and you'd maybe have the lift in the back for heavy work, and then in the front would be where you store cars. So, but again, this thing is so expensive I couldn't build a garage. And then the floor plan, and then a notepad. So this is going to be printed out and taking with us. So then the next house is the Yama district in Inawashiro, 2-story, 9DK, super affordable, 44 grand. Taxes are lower, obviously, so my monthly payment would only be $550 a month, and then adding in all the costs, the total monthly cost would be about $900 a month, which is affordable. However, it's 42 minutes from Ebisu and a 143-minute train ride to the nearest city, or a 70-minute drive. So it's cheap, it's affordable, but there's a reason why it's cheap and affordable. But what's crazy is there's a little town nearby. Everything's within an 8-minute drive, even a good rated hospital. It's a 0.28 acres, 2,600 square foot house, 1.5 car garage included. And then what's crazy is it has a storehouse and a storehouse, and then this existing garage. So Google's telling me the existing garage is 25 foot by 25 foot. So I calculated I have room for 25 foot by 28 foot here. I have room for a 49 foot by 31 foot here. Honestly, would probably not tear this one down, but would just bust out the walls and make one big garage. After talking with Parker, he doesn't recommend tearing down the storehouses. Apparently they're fairly historic. He recommends restoring the storehouse, but I don't think it would be suitable for a vehicle. Maybe a daily driver, maybe. So these two are out. And then the additional info on the floor plan. Here's the satellite map showing what you own. You own this grove of trees, the house, and then you own all this. So that's cool. And then the notepad. Okay, so then the third property, Otama Village, 2DK. So this is that 6-acre house. It's expensive. You're just paying for the acreage, 150 grand. It comes out to $2,200 a month, which I definitely cannot afford. And it's not really near anything. I mean, you got 10 minutes to a convenience store driving. There's no way you could ever walk, maybe bicycle ride on a good day. Ebisu is only 24 minutes though, so we're gonna go look at it. It's 6.7 acres, but the house is only 600 square feet. I mean, I would probably be okay with it. I think my cats would be a little pissy if they had such a small house to be trapped in. But you can see here, the house is here, and there's no map, there's no real estate map of the land, which is suspicious. But I'm pretty sure there's a warehouse here, a bunch of trash though. But all the roofs over here, blue roof, and then whatever this is, and then this, they all have the exact same identical roofs, so I'm assuming it's part of the property. And if it is, it's a 73 foot by 59 foot warehouse. Now, whether or not it has a concrete floor. So this one is something cool to look at. It has 400 cherry trees, 700 blueberry trees. So my guess is this is some kind of processing or storage for all those berries, maybe. Okay, and then the fourth property is Fukushima City, 10DK. This is that epic farmhouse that was originally my favorite choice, 76 grand. So $950 monthly payment. And then with all the utilities and costs, it comes out to about $1,300 a month payment, which technically I can afford. I might have to sell one of my vehicles or consolidate my motorcycle loan. But this one, it's 29 minutes from Ebisu, which is kind of far. It's not bad. But the commute to the major city is only 25 minutes. Convenience stores 10 minutes. So it's not in the middle of nowhere, but there's no train station nearby, which is, I mean, a 20-minute bike ride to the train station. I would never be able to commute with a train station. This house, well, I mean, and obviously the previous one too. I think I might have skipped over that. yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, so, but it's cheap. And then this one I mapped out. So that's the main house, storehouse, 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 weird outbuilding with 2 stories. So I mapped out the carport, and then I used Google Maps to measure these old farm buildings. There is a 100-foot by 65-foot flat ground where you could build a massive workshop, massive. Or if you wanted to tuck something behind this place, like maybe, you know, this would be the workshop and this would be daily drivers, I don't know. So then you also have 70-foot by 60-foot back here. The property map kind of gets cut off, so I don't even know how far back this goes. But you can see these 2 buildings here. If they allow me to tear them down, I can tear them down and consolidate and build one giant building. Actually, this would probably be the workshop because the ceiling has to be taller for the auto lift, and this would be a normal ceiling storage garage, whatever. And then the final property, which is now my new favorite, the one with that warehouse attached to it, it's $100,000, so $1,200 monthly payment. After everything, it comes out to about $1,600 a month. Doesn't leave me much room for remodeling, and the house looked like it was in rough shape. However, the statistics are better than any of the other 4 houses. So 14 minutes from Ebisu. I mean, that's a... Just stay with me. 14 minutes from Ebisu. 7-minute bike ride from the closest train station. 30-minute total commute to the main city. Minimum driving commute to the main city is 30 minutes. It's literally down the block from a convenience store. The other direction, there's a massive supermarket, pharmacy, clinic, and then a hospital. So it's in a good location. It's a ½ acre, which is a lot for how in the city it is. I need to double check that's right, because I've seen a different listing for the same property that's 0.25 acres. So that's concerning, because this says 253 meters squared, but I'm pretty confident I saw another listing that was like 1049 meters squared. But the building is 2,400 square feet. That's just the house. I don't know how big the warehouse is. I was having trouble with that because there's a bunch of trees. So this is the house. I think this is included. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Right. Okay. House. Weird rundown storage shed. The little waiting room. The big driveway. This is actually, it doesn't look like it, but this road is double wide. So you could get a roll back through it, no problem. And then, depending how far back this building goes into this tree coverage back here, it's about 45 foot by 45 foot, and it's tall. And I know now it wasn't an auto shop, it was some kind of warehouse. It says it has storm shutters, parking for more than 5 cars. I'm assuming they're referring to this. So the road's 6 meters wide, induction cooktop. It's saying it has an 8 square meter apartment. I'm assuming that's the little side piece, the office of the, I think they maybe translated not good, so, but we'll see. So, and then the notes. So that's the end of part 2. So now we're going to jump into part 3, where I kind of walk you through my itinerary. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the itinerary. I went ahead and stripped out personal information, of course. So we are leaving out on 11/25. This is 11/14, as you can see in the corner here. And we are coming back now 12/2. We were originally going to come back 12/4. Decided to save 2 vacation days because I'm going to have to go back again to do all the contracts and stuff on the house. Obviously, we're going to Japan. I mean, why would we not go to Japan if the whole video is buying out? Anyway, so we're going to go to STL. We're going to fly to MSP. From MSP, we're going to have to basically halfway run to our next gate to get onto the flight to Haneda. And the cat is messing with, hey, that is not yours. Sorry. Okay. So, as soon as we get to Haneda, Brandon says he can sleep on the plane. I very much hope he can sleep on the plane because we have a 4-hour drive to the Bandai Meito Resort Bonari no Mori, which is, and I put hyperlinks in this. Check this out. Look at these photos. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Yes. Please, yes. Just, oh. Hey, stop, man. That is not your... Sorry, cat. Just trying to eat stuff that's expensive. Alright, anyway. So, back to the... What is going on here? Okay. We're going to stay there. We're going to meet Parker from Akiya and Inaka for the property tour. So, first property's at 10 a.m. The second property's at 11 a.m. The third property is at 1 p.m., then 3 p.m., and then the 4:30 p.m. one, which is that big warehouse. I'm kind of worried because I don't know if we're going to have much sunlight left unless we get there a little early. These two aren't very far apart from each other, so we might be able to get there a little early. So then Brandon, Brandon's going on this trip with me, and he's losing a lot of time at work, and he's losing a lot of time away from his family. So I'm going to do as much as I can to make this like a Christmas present vacation for him. So we're going to go visit Samet HQ and do a tour of their facility. Basically, 8 a.m. Friday morning, we'll hang out at Ebisu for a little bit, but we have a 4-hour drive to get back to Samet HQ in Tokyo. We'll do a tour there, and then we're going to go to just some random hotel. Then Saturday and Sunday basically is up to Brandon. Whatever he wants to do in Tokyo, we're probably just going to use the train system instead of the rental car. Whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, Sunday, it's back to my choice, which is the Yuyu Onsen Hotel in Hakone, which is right near the famous driving roads that I've posted videos of before, the Ashinoko Skyline and the Hakone Turnpike and all these crazy roads. And we're going to have a Toyota Crown rental car, so a pretty nice car. I mean, look at these roads. So we're going to be driving all around Hakone for a day or two, going to get good food, going to see cool stuff, tourist stuff. But the hotel, again, it's a hot spring hotel. Why would you go to Japan and not stay in a hot spring hotel? So, yeah, that'll be cool. There's going to be a lot. And then, unfortunately, the realtor, Parker, I don't know, broker, maybe broker. Parker said you're going to have to go to the U.S. Embassy and get some paperwork done to kind of speed up the process of buying the house. So we have to leave the hot spring hotel at 5 a.m. on Tuesday, go to the embassy. I have a 9:45 a.m. appointment, and I didn't blank that out because this video is going to release after that, so whatever. And then the rest of the day is whatever, depending on how all this goes. But we have to drop off the rental car no later than 2:20 p.m., and then our flight is 5:20 p.m. from Haneda back to MSP to, I made sure we had a good 2-hour layover for customs, MSP back to St. Louis, and then home to blank. So, but that's the end of part 3 of this video. I hope my voice has been coming through clear this whole time. And so buying a house part 3, I'm sure that's been very confusing terminology. So the next video, the next full video, is hopefully going to be just all about us traveling and doing stuff on our way to Japan and our 4-hour drive to Fukushima. So stay tuned. I hope you guys have been enjoying the random AI songs I've been generating. At the end of the video series, I will probably do a vote on which AI song you guys like the best, and I'll make that my new theme song for the rest of the video series. So stay tuned. I will see you guys next time.